When the then APC presidential candidate, retired General Buhari, combined his dog and baboon blood-soaked threat with tears of passion and patriotism in 2014, little did anyone read between the lines. The state of Nigeria today should be a constant reminder that the choice of leaders, their nationality, age, patriotism matter in national security and productive governance. But have Nigerians learned their lessons, even as the final countdown of a looming apocalypse takes louder? This documentary may save your life and the future of generations to come. Please take notes and share. As always, my mission in search of excellence for Africa series is to transform the mindset of Africa, indigenes, and leaders through authentic and highly relevant case studies. Thank you. By virtue of Section 14, subsection 2 of the 1999 Constitution, the welfare and security of the Nigerian people shall be the primary purpose of government and responsibility of Mr. President. Yes. Now, for several years now, Nigeria remains unsafe from homegrown and imported terrorists. Christians and Muslims are being killed. The Nigerian police and security forces, military facilities, banks, churches, and schools have been attacked. They have carried out drive-by shootings, car bombs, and suicide attacks, and committed kidnappings and bank robberies to finance their mission. Now, what remains heartbreaking and baffling is this. Despite documented atrocities, including ethnic cleansing raids by local and imported terrorists, the indicted perpetrators, organizers, financiers, and sponsors of these reprehensible acts of terror are never brought to justice. The reason is not far-fetched. Former Navy Commodore Kunle Olawumi, retired, hints on Channels TV that the Nigerian government knows those behind the decade-long Boko Haram and Islamist insurgency in the country. The government developed cold feet in fighting the insurgency because some of those backing Boko Haram and the Islamist agenda are now top-ranking government officials. Are you surprised? Fellow Nigerian, this documentary reveals the phases and origins of terror in Nigeria and leaves you to evaluate the evidence and decide your fate through the upcoming 2023 presidential election. You see, Nigeria is not operating in normal democracy. Our democratic system has been hijacked and heavily abused. It has become a shortcut to unmerited wealth, the back door to commandeering the wealth, power, and security of our nation by imposters. It has given unproductive elements access to political power and empowered accidental politicians to play God with our future through grooming a large unproductive, underage, and other illegal voters. Now, this is a powerful question here. How did Nigeria become a terrorist enclave? I can tell you, the initial phase of terror in Nigeria was motivated by the economic realities of the country, endemic corruption, marginalization, and injustice. Myopically, it sought to drive change through terror. The kidnap and experiences of Chief Mike Ozekome, son, lends credence to this view. Listen to his experiences, including the date, time, and the good and bad news of the kidnap.
The deal began on Friday, the 23rd of August, 2013. I was not traveling in the night. I want Nigerians to know the danger that we are into. I was not traveling in the wee hours of the morning. I left Benin past 2 p.m. in the afternoon baking sun. On my way to my town, Ivukwe. But all these were not to come to pass. Because of the parlous security situation of Nigeria that has made Nigeria very, very unsafe for both its citizens and investors. We ran into a vehicle had already been used to block the road. And my driver said, he said, Oga, people are saying armed robbers. Then I said, then turn the car, reverse. As he put it on reverse, a gun was on my head. Automatic weapon. And they said, don't move. If you move an inch, we blast you. I told Chinedu, don't move. They dragged me out of the car. Dragged Chinedu out of the car. Shot the tire of the vehicle. Put Chinedu in the boot of the car and put me inside the car. Then met another driver inside. They said if we dare look up, they will kill us. Death sentence was always hanging on us 24 hours a day. The experience was one of horrendous tragedy. It was horrific, to put it mildly. We were psychologically tortured. We were mentally, excruciatingly tortured. We suffered from psychical trauma. It was spiritually unnerving. It was physically debilitating. It was the nearest thing to death on earth. Fellow countrymen, if hell is worse than that, let us all pray that we will never go to hell.
Chief Ozekome-san carefully and painfully draws attention to the unique characteristics and motivations of the kidnappers. Please pay attention.
That we have in our hands a national calamity. We have in our hand a clear and present danger. We have in our hand a situation of monumental and gargantuan proportion. A situation that calls for urgent national rethinking. A situation that calls for presidential intervention. Ladies and gentlemen, we are dealing with very well-read people, graduates, that speak impeccable English. Very well-read graduates that talk philosophy. That when they are hooded, they discuss national issues with you. Problems of the country. Why they say they are in the forest, in the jungles. Why they are fighting against. What they are fighting against. They complain that the entire wealth of the nation has been cornered by less than 1% of Nigerians, 170 million people. And that the vast majority of Nigerians are suffering, eating from dustbins in abject penury and squalor. One of them said he has been a graduate for 6 years. He has no job. That if he had a job of even 50,000 naira in a month, why will he carry guns to a highway? They try to justify what they do so as to have some clean conscience. One of them said he had a brother who graduated 16 years ago. He had no job. That they have to fend for them, that when they make money, they also, like Robin Hood, spread the money to help other people.
He makes recommendations to the federal government, including declaration of a state of emergency on youth unemployment, educational and infrastructural decay, and insecurity.
I want to suggest that the federal government should immediately declare a state of emergency on youth unemployment, lack of capacity building, on educational decay, on infrastructural decay that give birth to crime, that become the godfathers of Boko Haram, of militancy, of kidnapping, of armed robbery. They should declare a national state of emergency on these areas that I've mentioned. Another state of emergency. The federal government should immediately declare a state of emergency on insecurity in Nigeria that makes the Nigerian security situation so perilous that whether in the morning, whether in the afternoon, whether in the night, whether in our homes, whether in the marketplace, whether in our workplaces, whether on the air, whether on the sea, whether on the road, that makes all of us unsafe. Having declared this state of emergency, the federal government should do the next thing, and that is calling on the National Assembly. You are still amending the Constitution. You have the power to so amend it under Section 9 of the 1999 Constitution. Alter the Constitution to bring about state police. We need state police. The argument is now asinine, primordial, and spent. Oh, that state police, regional police were used in those days, wrong big, therefore we cannot have state police. We need neighborhood policy. We need local government policy. We need city policy. We need village policy. We need kindred family policy. Policy that involves inhabitants and indigenes of those particular places.
Well, as you can see, the first phase of terrorism may be considered homegrown, judging by the experiences of Chief Mike Ezekome's son. However, the second and current phase, Islamization and ethnic cleansing, is political and government-backed. In the words of the late General Abacha, when insurgency lasts more than 24 hours, your government has a hand in it. The supporting evidence is at least twofold. Mr. Baraje Abubakar Kawu, a former chieftain of the ruling APC, confessed recently that the origin of the current national security is the influx of Fulani militia from Sierra Leone, Mali, Senegal, Niger, and Chad by the current APC government to help facilitate victory in the 2015 election. On completion of their mission, they refused to return to their respective countries. This single act of treachery is not only a crime against the Nigerian state, but also a serious violation of INEC rules. Surprisingly, APC remains in power, and no one was held accountable for this imported calamity on the indigenous people of Nigeria. In this part, I present further evidence of treason based on credible and uncontested testimonies of a high-ranking, capable, and patriotic insider. To establish credibility, first, let's listen to the background of this brave patriot. Thank you.
Served at Defense Headquarters as the Deputy Director, Defense Administration between 2015 and 2017. I've served the military intelligence for the past 35 years. I've been an operational commander all my life. I've commanded warships, I've commanded troops, I've commanded men outside Nigeria and so on. I'm always a member of the Security and Intelligence Brief at the Defense Headquarters. The Niger Delta problem was solved during Yaradua time, basically by me, from the experience of 35 years of military intelligence. So I'm not coming to the air to whip up sentiments, no. I have been in the system. I work with Abacha government. I work with Babangida government. I work with Abdul Salam. I work with Yaradua Obasanjo. As a core insider of corporations, I belong to a group of people that you are not supposed to see, people that you are not supposed to hear. Because we have three classes of military officers. I belong to the worst group. I lost my family because my family does not have to know where I have been, where I have gone, and I cannot talk. I've seen Colonel Lu here, I've seen Stan Lambo. Some of us belong to that group that we are not supposed to be seen, and we are not supposed to be heard. I've held a lot of appointments in the military. There are certain appointments I will hold that has no connotation with intelligence at all. For example, I was the Chief of Staff Logistic Command for the Navy. That appointment has nothing to do with intelligence. I was the Defense Advisor to Nigeria in France. It has nothing to do with intelligence. So there are times I hold appointments and I have to deal with journalists.
Like many concerned Nigerians, I'm sure you have often wondered what the center of gravity of the current problem of insecurity in Nigeria might be. Commodore Kunle Olaumi explains.
I told General Lanshakin to look at the center of gravity of the problem. And we all came together. I was made a member of the committee, including Atahiru that just died was a member of that committee in 2016, 2017. And we came to a conclusion after several arguments. And the arguments were three. To identify the center of gravity of the problem, one group said it is the fighters, the Boko Haram fighters are the center of gravity, so we should go after them. Another group said the center of gravity of Boko Haram is Abubakar Shekau. So if you go after Abubakar Shekau, then the problem of Boko Haram will be solved. I took exception to the group. I said that is not the center of gravity of the problem of Boko Haram insurgency that we were having between that 2012 and 2017. And General Lanshakin asked me, Olami, why are you giving problem? What is the problem? Give us the answer. And I told General Lanshakin that if I tell you the answer, you are not going to be able to solve the problem. He said, what is the problem? He said, the center of gravity of Boko Haram and insurgency in Nigeria are the sponsors of that program. It was beyond us. Because the job we need to do is kinetics. Fight, destroy places, resolve issues. Yep. But we cannot resolve issue of sponsors of Boko Haram that were in Buhari's government, that we know them.
When you say we, who?
I was in the military intelligence. And the defense headquarters staff that I work with, they know. And that was why we couldn't pursue that aspect that could have resolved that problem. Because you need to arrest people. And recently, 400 people were gathered as sponsors of Boko Haram. Why is it that Buhari government has refused to try them?
So the government knows sponsors of Boko Haram?
Of course, it's in the news. In April this year, the government said they have arrested 400 Bureau de Change related people that were sponsoring Boko Haram. They told us. And Abu Dhabi also helped us to arrest few Nigerians. Tried them, we know them. Why can't this government, if not that they are partisan and they are actually part of the charade that is going on, why can't they bring those people out for trial?
As you heard, the center of gravity of the insecurity is the sponsors and supporters of terror in Nigeria. But who are the sponsors and supporters? Is the government aware of them? And if so, why are they still holding key positions and roam free of prosecution? A powerful question.
The people I mentioned that are in government are not these ones they just arrested. You remember this Boko Haram issue started since 2012.
Yeah.
And I was in the military intelligence that time. We arrested those people. It is my organization that actually conducts interrogation and interview. And they mention names. I mean, I can't come on air and start mentioning names of people that are presently in government now that I know. Presently in government. That the boys that we arrested mentioned. Some of them are governors now. Some of them are in the Senate. Some of them are in Aso Rock. Why should a government try to cause this kind of embarrassment and insecurity to the sense of what happened yesterday? And the solution I gave them in 2017, because when I identified the center of gravity for General Shocking, and they couldn't pursue it, because some of them were ministers. And what I'm saying now, the Department of State Services are listening to me. They know them.
Yeah, you know, Commodore.
So the solution I gave them was that if we can't pursue the policy strategic level, because the people that we need to talk to are also, going to be difficult to deal with. I said what they should do now is to conduct two things. We should buy blimps. The blimps are not UAVs. They are not drones. Blimps are equipment that can fly up to 10,000 feet, 30,000 feet, static if you want, mobile if you want, and they carry a lot of payload. We saw them in Afghanistan. We saw them in Kenya. This will be something that can give us real-time intelligence, and we can know where these bandits or terrorists, where they emanate from, when they finish operations as they've done, where they go back to.
Okay, well.
Now, is there a solution to the problem of insecurity? And how effective has the federal government's awareness and response been? I'm sure you wish to know.
When you have a problem at policy level, strategic level, operational level, when you have a problem, what you need to do is to identify the center of gravity of that problem and attack it. That's what you do. What they are doing is not attacking the center of gravity of the problem of Boko Haram and insurgency. So if the president is buying Super Tucano, is changing service chiefs, that is not the solution. We are looking at the wrong side. It's not kinetic. It's politics. The center of gravity is what they should look at. And what is it? I'm saying it on this channel. It is the sponsor of Boko Haram and bandits. When I worked with the DSS in 2007, because when Yaradua approved the operational order that we did, we now have to work together as a team. He actually forced all of us to sit down together and work together. I was surprised at the tremendous amount of information had by DSS. I was shocked. We in DI, I was in Defense Intelligence Agency, and when they were forced to bring out the files, I was shocked. They have so much information at DSS presently as I'm talking about what I'm talking about. They have. But you see, if a fish is going to get spoiled, it's going to start getting spoiled from the head. The DSS will not do anything except the Commander-in-Chief's body language shows that this is the direction I want to go. That is where the problem is. The DSS has tremendous information. By the time 2023 is here and somebody take over and wants to undo some of this evil that I've seen in this country, you'll be surprised names that the DSS will bring out. They have the information. There's nothing I'm going to say here that they don't have. The defense headquarters have the solution for the kinetic aspect. They do. I'm not going to come here to advise them. I work with them, and they're still there. The chief of naval staff was in the intelligence with me. We were together in Defense Intelligence Agency. That's Vice Admiral Gambo. I know these people are good. They know what to do. It's not that they have problems. It has to do with politics, the sponsors, people that feel that this country should be Islamized.
Assuming
manageable. This government does not want to resolve this problem. They are escalating it because of tribal and religious sentiment.
Now,